Hello and welcome to my shop, such as it is. I have cut out the pieces from my saw cart. I did that off camera, whatever. Got the top, got the centerpiece, and two sides. Now we have to route the grooves and dados to put everything together and prep them. I'm going to be careful with these, very splintery. I'll sand down those edges before I assemble, I think. Anyway, we need to route these so I can assemble them. Might get the assembly done tonight. So we've got to route through the center of each of these, up the center line. This is going to be 1/2 inch wide, pardon me, 1/4 inch deep. That's to put the centerpiece in. Then we're going to make a bunch of runs across that are going to be 1/4 inch wide and 1/8 inch deep. And my thought is I want to route these, like I might use some of the double-sided tape to anchor these to the workbench this way or the other way, because I want to route them together as a pair. So that way the routing lines are all exactly the same. But for now, let's get our combination square, which is not there. Am confused. Where did I put it? I put it up there. Okay. So these are 11 inches wide. So our route is going to be at 5.5. That's where the center line is. And these are exactly the same width because I set the table saw and I cut them both to exactly the same width. And length too, for that matter. I cut them as a pair, so I know that they're matched. Now I have both 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch bits. Actually, I'm not yet sure which router I'm going to use. So this is our Bosch, and I'm pretty sure this is a 1/4. It's hard to read these. Let me get my micrometer out, my caliper out. Not really a micrometer. So yeah, so this is 0.24 or 0.25. I mean, this isn't the world's most precise micrometer, but I'm okay with that. So that's our 1/4 inch bit. Now we need a 1/2 inch bit, which I think is this. Yeah, this is our 1/2 inch bit. I've got a few of these, but a lot of them have got this. They've been kind of burnt, heavily used. I don't know how good they are. This one is nice and clean. I don't think I've used it yet. Now, the wood is just slightly under 1/2 inch. Let me show you here. You can see it sits at about 0.46. So that's like 4/10 under 1/2 inch. And this bit is, I measure the cutting edges at their widest. We'll see it's exactly 1/2 inch, 0.50. They do make slightly undersized bits. I don't have any. So what this means for this is the grooves are going to be just a little bit too wide. They're going to be slightly oversized by like 0.4 of an inch. That will be fine for this application. I don't think I need that kind of precision here. My options right now would be to use like a 1/4 inch bit and make 2 passes. But I'm really concerned about being able to be precise with that. I would much rather make 1 pass. I mean, I'm going to have to make 2 passes anyway, but for different depths. But it's going to be 2 passes of the same bit at the same distance. So I won't be adjusting anything. Oh. Now, I think we're going to use the Craftsman for this. It's got the plunge base, which seems to be locked in place. Yeah. It's got the plunge base. I want to use the plunge base, and I want to figure out how to use the depth stop so I can only go so deep. That way I don't have to rely, I don't have to rely on my own talents to not, I don't have to eyeball it, is what I'm trying to say. I got this surfacing bit. Wow. Whoa. All right, I got this surfacing bit, but look at that. It's burnt to hell already. I have a piece of rough cherry, and I was trying to surface it. And man, it was noisy and smoky. I don't know if this router just runs too fast. This doesn't have a speed adjustment on it. I may have trashed these bits already. I don't know if it was just a cheap router bit, but that is a problem for another day. So let's see how this works. This fits in here like this, right? That just slides up and down. That fits in like that, except that needs to go like, why is that facing the wrong way? There we go. Goes in like that. So we don't want this to be able to go any deeper. We're going to do the 1/2 inch one to start with. So let's get our bit chucked in there. I haven't used the depth stop yet, so this is a learning experience for me. So I probably should make a pass on a piece of scrap first, right? Okay, so if that's where we're flush, so that's our 0 mark. We can set that for 0, right? That's how we do it. Okay. So that's our 0. Not actually at the 0 mark anymore. But what we want to do, right, so if that's 0 right there, we want to go 1/4 of an inch down and then lock this in place, right? So now we can't go any deeper than that. Let's test this on a scrap piece before we do any proper cutting. And I still have to figure out how to get that to go exactly how I want it to. This is an offcut from the same piece of wood. This is where I routed through my own cable. Don't do that. I mean, that was one of the things after it happened. I was like, well, that probably was inevitable, wasn't it? As Thanos says, I am inevitable. Can you still hear me? My microphone was underneath my pocket. All right. Ear protection. Plug it in. Well, that looks like it worked quite well. Let's do a depth measurement here. And that is nowhere near a quarter deep. That's 0.16. We need to get to 0.25. So it's working, but it's not deep enough. All right, so we need to adjust the depth stop a little bit. Whoops. I don't want to adjust it that much. Actually, so where I had it as a quarter. Oh. Duh. I had it on an 1/8, not a quarter. I'm just reading my scale. All right, let's try this again. Well, it's making nice, clean cuts, so that makes me happy. Huzzah! Here we go. We're over by 1/10 of an inch. So let me adjust this slightly too deep. So I'm going to go just to the other side of the line. All right. Let's do one more quick check. Huzzah! There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Spot on. All right. We've got our depth stop set. Now, So it's locked down nice and tight. Now what we need to figure out is how to make our line nice and straight cut. It's going to be in the center of each board. I mean, it occurs to me the best way to do it is to use this thing, which will put it in place, clamp it down, and it holds the board nice and tight. The trick is going to be clamping the board down to the table also, because this hangs down below, and then also setting that distance. And what I will do in the future, which will be added to the to-do list, is to make a jig. So I saw someone make this. It's really cool. It had a little flip-up fence that was this distance here. So you set the jig along the line where you want to cut, and then you flip the fence out of the way, and that matches this distance. It was really a cool idea, and I will definitely be doing that at some point. For right now, I have to try and eyeball this. So we want to go from the center of the bit. Oh, it's 3 inches. Okay. It's 3 inches from the center of the router to the edge of that. So I need to set this 3 inches from where I want to cut the line. 2, 3. Okay. All right, that's our mark. We want this be nice and square on there. All right, that's locked on. But this is flopping. I wonder if I could just set some blocks under it. What do you think of that idea? Set like... I think that's a much better idea. I don't want that resting on that, though. I need to find another short piece of 2x4, which I'm sure I have kicking around here somewhere. Aha! Oh, it's mahogany. I don't want to kick that away. Got another pencil. So I put that under that, that under that. It feels pretty steady. So this will go on here. It's still a little jittery. But you know what? That I can clamp. Right. So let's do that right to the edge of the table, like that. Get a couple of our long clamps. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking with propane and propane accessories. Oh, nice and sturdy. Excellent, excellent. So I should just be able to do this, drop that down, and make my pass. And I'm sure this is what could possibly go wrong. All right. Our PBE on. Plug in the router. And away we go. Probably the messiest tool I own. Routers always make a gigantic mess. Oh, sweet as you please. And honestly, that looks like less than 2/10 of an inch. It's just barely a gap, which will be just fine for this application. Look at that. Yeah, mama. All right. Now, let's see if we can get the other one set up this well. A lot of dust in the air still. A lot of dust in the wind. So I'm going to mark these up and up. In case there's any variation. All right. Bring that line up. Okay. Yeah, we want to line that up. There. That's on. Okay. Seem to be getting a lot of dust tonight. You get an air cleaner in here, an air purifier. And, you know, better dust control. I really need to have a dust extractor for this. Okay. So pardon me while I blow my nose. Try keeping this mask on for a little bit. I believe you'll be able to hear me through it anyway. So I definitely need to figure out some kind of dust extraction for that. It's too dusty. Okay. So now let's check these against each other. That looks pretty much the same. That also looks pretty much the same. I got it pretty centered. Very happy with that. Now before I swap out to the 1/4 inch bit, I want to route out the top. So what the top is going to get is a slot on each side and a T across the center for the sides and the centerpiece to go into. And this is also going to be 1/2 inch bit, 1/4 inch deep. So I think we ought to just do the same thing we were doing. It seems to be working all right. Well, I'm going to vacuum some more dust here. Okay, so we want to see how wide this board is, and we want to run. I'm going to strike a line down the center and then a line in equal width apart. So 12 inches. So we're definitely going to be running a 6-inch line. So we want to come 3 inches over from that. 2, 3. And that's where we're going to put our router fence. But this does not need to go the full length. It only needs to go the width apart, my grooves here. So let me, my measuring tape is out here somewhere, he said with a posed look. All right. Ah, there it is, buried. So this is from the inner edge to the inner edge is 15 1/4. And then we need to, this is a 1/2 inch gap, so we need to add 1/2 inch, 1/4 for each side. So 15 3/4. Right? Yeah. 15 3/4 is going to be our width that way. Right, that's going to be where these two go. And then that's the center between it. So that's the only other measurement I need. So this is just shy of 24 inches. So 12 is the halfway mark. So if that's the center, question is, do I want an even overhang on each side? And I don't think I do. I think I want a little more overhang on the back and basically no overhang on the front. So, a little bit of overhang. So let's come in an inch. All right, this is 16 inches long. So we want to go 15 3/4. So that's going to go to that point there. So it's going to be our starting point, and that's going to be our ending point. And I want to make these really obvious because I've screwed this up before. All right. I think that's everything we need to do to set up this router cut. All right, so there's our 3-inch line. Okay, we'll lock that down. And we're actually going to want to go center point to center point. I might have to square the ends up with a chisel. We'll cross that ferry when we get to the bridge. Oops. No. Oh. Okay. Solid. Solid gear. So now we're going to have to hold this over this and just plunge it straight down because we're not going all the way off the edge. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera. I know this ain't going to do much, but maybe it'll be more than nothing. Set this here so it can suck in some of the dust. You know, I think next time I'm just going to write in big letters, start here, stop here on the thing. All right, so this is going to be for this centerpiece here. Oh, look at that. Beauteous. Although I do need to thin this out just a little bit, I think. I think this might be like an 1/8 or a 1/4, a little too wide, but we'll check on that in a minute. What I need to do now is to cut the grooves for the side pieces. Okay. Getting a little bit of tear out, but I kind of expected that. And it's not really going to be visible. So do I just... See, the problem is the clamper is going to have to be on this side. Although I'm not sure that's actually a problem. One, two, three. Now this doesn't need to be, or does this need to be all the way across? Not quite. Okay. So the thing with the 2x4s is working really well. I'm quite pleased with that idea. So again, I want this on here. Having a smaller one of these right now would be kind of handy, but it's getting the job done. So, oh, this is going to be a little more tricky. I'm going to have to try and clamp it on this side because I need to be able to run the router along here. So obviously I can't have the clamps here. And I don't think that'll be a big problem. No, that's good. Yep. I mean, these don't need to be like colossally tight or anything. Just snug. Sorry about the nose blowing. So much dust. I definitely need, yeah, I've said this about 1,000 times already, so I'm not going to say it again. Dust extractor. Be happier if that was a little more stable. You know, let's set the bit down first. No, I don't want to do that. I also don't want to do that. All right, let's lock the bit down first. Now we're just going to have to plunge it in. Ha-ha! Lovely, lovely. Could not ask for that to be any better. Gonna get this thing glued up tonight, I think. Despite the fact that it's already 10 o'clock. Now this one. This one is going to be here. Yeah. I want my start and stop lines to match with those. And I know there's easier ways to do that. What I'm trying to do here. I know, frankly, there's a way to use a speed square to do this, but I'm not fluent in speed square yet. See, this I can do like this, but I'll have to reach over. But I think that'll be fine. Oh, wait. Need to measure 3 inches away from this. Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm bumping my microphone. I mean, I could put this on the other side of it. I could do 3 inches that way. But I'd rather do it this way. Then I can lock down this end and the router's on the other side. So that's more stable. So we're going to do it that way. Okay. So now this can go like, well, that's as far as that's going to go. Because we're up against the back of the table over there. This is better than having the router out here. Now we can plunge it properly. Okay. Okay. Now, see if we can do a test fit. I don't know if we'll be able to, but so we're going to have one here. That, whoops, splinters. We're going to have one here, and this one is going to go in the center. So, oh, that fits beautifully. But yeah, I have to trim this by, it looks like 1/4 of an inch, but that is awesome. Right, because that's 1/2 an inch. So this, we need to lose 1/4 of an inch off of this. We'll do that next. But before I do that, I want to route my shelf grooves. These are going to be the 1/4 inch bit, 1/8 inch depth. The router's unplugged. You always want to make sure it's unplugged when your hand is going anywhere near these things. This sucker will eat your fingers. It's hungry for human flesh. All right. Done with this bit. We'll put that one back. And we'll put our Bosch 1/4 in there. And now I think I can just set my depth stop for 1/8. That. And we'll make a test cut, but that should be about where we want it. Now, I was hoping to do these as a single piece, which I don't know if I can do or not. Because we need to set them like this. These bits out of the way. Clean up some of that sawdust. Question is, can we do this? So if these are the tops, say this is the top, how far down do we want to come for the first one? We've got 29 inches. So let's say the first shelf is going to be shallow. We'll mark that at 4. And then we'll make the second one a little bit deeper. Um, 4 and 4 would be 8. Come down 6. The 10. Shelf 2. And the shelves are going to go in after I have the main assembly done. Let's go down to another 16. Shelf 3. Um, 6. We'll go to 22. Shelf 4. And then I want to come up about an inch to do a base piece. Okay. So it's going to be shelf 1, shelf 2, shelf 3, shelf 4. These don't have to be precise. They're just kind of arbitrary. There's probably some optimal way to do it, but it's whatever. Okay. Oh. So I could double-sided stick these to the tabletop and then get a straight edge piece and double-side stick this 3 inches down and just route across. Oh, I'm not going to have space to do that, though. I'm going to run into that barrier. So it's got to be at least 3 inches out. So something like that. Which still leaves most of this on here. Let's try it that way. Let's try it that way. Double-sided tape. That's about my 3-inch mark there. Yeah. Stop being a mess. Okay, there's that. And aw, big chunk of the veneer tore out. That's kind of a bummer. That's going to be unsightly. Yeah, I've got a little splinter. Pick it out. Purchased a nice pair of tweezers just for that. Well, that was dumb. Okay. Okay, so line those up very carefully. All right, those are nice and secure. Now we just need our straight edge. No, you know what? That's not going to be thick enough. Oh, I don't know how straight. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Close enough for government work. All right, so we need to go down 3 inches from each line. So set mark for line 1. Set 1, set 2. Set 3. Set 4. Use that for set 5 as well. Okay. So now actually probably don't need to do it this way. I probably could just put a square at the top and a square at the bottom, right? You know, it's going to be a pain in the ass if I don't trim the excess off of it too. Sticky tape is sticky. As I'm thinking about it, would have made way more sense to just put a little square at the top and a little square at the bottom instead of covering the whole thing in fucking tape. Whatever. All right, so this needs to go the full length. Okay. We need to make a test cut. Make sure we've got our depth stop set correctly. I gotta say, I kind of got a flow going here. Well, that's not set to 1/8 of an inch. Oh. Because my zero mark is wrong now. I had it zeroed for the other bit. All right. That's our 0 mark for this bit. So we want to go from the 0 mark up 1/8, like that. All right, let's try that. All right, 0.13. 0.13 and 0.13 is 0.26, which is just over 1/4 of an inch. So this is just a hair over 1/8 of an inch. So that's good. Going a little too deep on that is fine. That'll leave us a little margin for error. All right. It's routing time. Well, that's wrong. That should be 3 inches. That's only 2 inches. It moved. Shit. God damn it. All right. It shifted. I'm pissed. I got to retape this. Whatever. It's not the end of the world. Why we do this? So we can learn. You can learn that you can only do it so many times with the tape before you have to swap out new tape. Of course, that's going to be completely backwards. Yay! Okay. A little unsightly, but I'm the only one who's ever going to see it. Not going to stop the project from working. That's a live and learn moment. The live, laugh, love moment. Damn it, it's moving again. What the hell? All right, I guess I do need to run tape down the whole length of it. All right, lesson learned. It's crooked, so it's not reaching all the way to the motherfucking end. It's okay. It's all good. I just have to lift up without splitting the board in half. All right, that's it for the router tonight. Hey, it's only 11 o'clock. Okay. I think we're going to end this video here. And then while we're away, I'm just going to trim 1/4 of an inch off the end of this, 1/8 of an inch, something like that, off the end of this board. And then I'm going to glue it up, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Bye. All right. Thought I'm probably just going to tack this on the end of the video that you've just been watching. Here we have the cart, not 100% finished. I need to finish out all these drawers. Let's take a look at it, okay? So I am quite happy with what we've gotten done on this cart. There we go. We'll zoom out a little bit. That's better. First of all, I replaced this little blow tube. It was broken off here. There's just a little bellows in there that puffs air, and it's just meant to puff sawdust away from your work area. And I also picked up a little magnetic lamp so I can light up my workspace. And obviously, I can't have it on here while I'm working, but I could go over here and shine that way. There we go. A couple little holes. I intentionally extended this out a little bit because I wanted a place to wrap the cord and place to put these long-handled, T-handled Allens, and that's for changing out the blade. Whichever ones came with it from the factory were long since gone when I got it. So here we are. All right. Obviously, we've got the caster caster wheels. I got some flange nuts here anchoring this, and you can see I've got the top drawer here all nice and finished. And I do have to go down through. I'm going to make all of the rest of these drawers except for this bottom one. That's just going to be like a shelf that's glued in to add a little bit of stability. But I am really happy with this. Very happy with how this came out. There were a few hiccups. As you can see, we've got the same kind of drawer slides on both sides. Oops, that's a little sticky because I urethaned it. But when I build the shelf, the drawer part out on that, I'll sand those down and wax them up a little bit. This is way more storage than I need for this saw. So I suspect I'll find other things that I can store in those areas that I either want for the saw or might have use for. Probably like intermediate use, not like an everyday grab thing. But it's nice to have extra storage space. Now that I've done this, I'm probably going to rebuild both of these, maybe even the drill press too, to build more storage. I definitely want storage for these saw blades. That's been kind of a pain in the ass, but, oops, sorry, finger in the lens there. All right, so as you can see, cord's just neatly wrapped around these eye bolts that I happen to have kicking around. You can plug that in over there. Put our little light on. And, oh, here. Let's grab one of the scraps. that we used. This is scraps from the 2x4s for the base. Power this on. See, let me oh, this is tilting all over the place, but you know why? It's not because that base isn't square, because I made sure that base is square. Oh no, it's because this floor isn't square. There we go. Big dip in the floor. Wow, that was loud. I'll have to cut that volume down. This is a tool I've wanted for a while, for a little while. There were a few challenges I was looking at as I was making some builds, and it occurred to me that a scroll saw would be the best tool to try and accomplish what I needed to accomplish. So I ended up finding this one on Facebook Marketplace pretty cheap, and having used it only a couple of times now, I love using it, and I am definitely looking forward to finding some projects where I can make more use of it. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.